All right, welcome back to the channel. So in this video, we have an update because news has come out related to Errol, Spence, Terence, Crawford, and the PBC. Despite the rumors of PBC's demise, it appears that they are going to keep the show rolling without a bump, despite the fact that their new network has not been announced. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. And in this video, we've got an solid update on the future of the PBC. And for all those people that thought that the PBC may not have a fight dates lined up because of Showtime going out of business, well, apparently you guys are wrong as rain, because the PBC has 2 fight dates coming up in February, and many believe that, and most likely one of them, include the Errol Spence Terence Crawford fight, and more than likely the other one is going to include Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, before I get into the details of it, and also I want to tell you that there was really interesting conversations going on that I want to continue a little bit about Errol Spence Jr.'s fitness going into the Terence Crawford fight, and how some people showed some video evidence that was pretty much, I couldn't see it with my naked eye the first time that I saw Errol and kind of in the lead into the Terence Crawford fight. But people showed me certain footage of Errol, I couldn't help but say, yeah, that's a big difference there. So we're going to get into a little bit of that as well. But before I do, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your support. So first of all, shout out to Mr. Pull-Up, who was the first person that I saw on Twitter to release this information. And this is coming from a meeting from the Nevada State Athletic Commission, where promoters let the commission know what fight dates they intend to have fights on to prepare the commission for whatever they need to do to approve those fights. So, according to this note that came out, requested by Let's Get It On Promotions, Let's Get It On, for a program permit to promote an event to be held on November 4th. And that event is going to be at the Tahoe Blue Event Center. Then you have requested by Golden Boy Promotions, Inc., a program permit for the event to be held January 6th at the Virgin Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas on DAZN. And you have TGB Promotions. TGB is Tom Brown Promotions, and that is the main promoter that puts on the events for PBC. And it said, for a program permit to promote a professional bout held on February 3rd, 2024 at the T-Mobile Arena and Casino in Las Vegas for pay-per-view, for possible action, and requested by TGB again for a program permit to promote a professional boxing match held on February 24th at the T-Mobile or MGM Grand Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas for a pay-per-view. So, dates are being set. What do you know this means for sure? That means that obviously the PBC is not going out of business. They are already reserving fight dates and in negotiations for airing fights at specific places February of next year. Now, clearly, those fights are not going to be aired on Showtime because Showtime said that they are going out of business at the end of 2023, that they're satisfying all their obligations up until 2023. So from there on, you're going to have to see all of the PBC fighters and the fights that they're going to make on another network. So for everybody thinking the PBC is going out of business, no. They got the fights going on, and that is per the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Now they might also have other fights going on in other states, but We don't know. We know this one coming out of Las Vegas, though. So it looks like that. And if you recall, when Gervonta Davis had spoken about when he was going to fight next, he said that he's not going to be fighting at the end of this year, 2023, that he'll be back at the top of next year. And then the fight with Errol Spence Jr., where the rematch clause had been activated, and Errol Spence Jr. is intent on making the fight. Showtime said that they believe that fight was going to be next year. So not this year, next year. February timeframe looks like it fits for that one as well. Now, the interesting thing that I saw, though, because now I'm like, okay, more than likely these fights are going to pop off, and they're going to pop off in February. So looking forward to a really good February. I'm sure there'll be other fights. If it's not on a major network, if they haven't worked out their network deal, then it means more than likely on those pay-per-views, we're probably going to get stacked cards. I don't know what Jaron Ennis has done, what Jaron Ennis is going to be doing for the rest of this year, or if he has something scheduled. But it looks like we already know what the rest of the fight cards are for this year for the PBC. And it seems like it's the two fight cards, one with David Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade, and the other one may include Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Mikey Garcia. But at the very least, you're also going to have on that two other fights on that card, Keith Thurman versus Amanda Stanionis, and Danny Garcia versus Aries Lara. So those seems like those are the fights that are going to be taking place for the rest of this year. But so the ones that we also know where they're looking for them, the big name fighters we think are going to wind up in February. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk about in this is that if the fight winds up being at 154 for Errol and Terence, that there's a lot of people that were showing this footage of Errol hitting the bag. And when he's hitting the bag, the heavy bag, he had a shag. So you know that shag was at least like 3 fights ago. And then you see the clip of Errol hitting the bag, but he's hitting the bag for leading into the Terence Crawford fight. And man, I got to tell you, dude, it is definitely much slower. Definitely much slower, much less pop on his punches going into that fight. So people are just wondering, and I didn't want to do an entirely separate video for that, but for the people that pay attention to the videos all the way to the end, and I thank you for that, definitely wanted to bring it up, that I certainly hope that is the weight drain. I certainly hope that is a fact, that the way that he looked in that scenario was because he's just at a weight class that he shouldn't be at anymore. And that when he gets to 154, you can see more speed, you can see more pop. Because, when I look at people that do breakdowns of the film and look at the technique of the film, look, man, 2 people can do the same technique. But one person can do the technique and you just got more talent. You got more energy behind it, right? So the same thing that you're doing can work better, even though they're both fundamentally the same thing. One person can get better results from the same technique as somebody that's a little less talented. Similarly, you can have somebody that is a runner who has the same technique, but if he runs 5-6 times during the week, say, a 400-meter runner runs 5 competitions in a week, his times towards the end of the week are not going to be what they were in the beginning of the week because he's just got a lot of wear and tear and he needs that time to recover. So maybe if the weights and all of that stuff work that same way, that could be the case as well. But anyway, I just wanted to make that observation on the top of this because it looks like we're going to get those fights. And I'm looking forward to seeing what PBC is going to put on and who they're going to put on a fight with in 2024 in February. But with that, that's my take on the scenario. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.